welcome back to World Mobile Token News. Glad to have you, Mickey Watkins and the billionaire Mark Cuban get into it on Twitter, and people explode and lose their minds. It's so great. I'm like a I'm like that Michael Jackson meme where he's in the movie theater eating popcorn, just watching all of the comments. Like, yes. So let's take a look and get into what was said. And there was a ton of facts and a lot of education going on, a lot that you, the viewer, can get out of going through those tweets. So that's exactly what we're going to focus on in this video. We're going to do a very quick from macro to micro. Looking at today's stock market, everything was pretty much up. It's been a couple up days, couple down days in the market this week. No major breakouts either way. We have been trending bullish in this week's market, which is also evident in the BTC price chart. As you can see here, started the week at around 23, made it up to almost 25. It's currently sitting in between 24 and 2,500. How that translates to World Mobile Token, as you can see here, still staying within that same channel that the entire market has been in for months now. Really, for World Mobile Token, it's been between 20 cents and 25 cents a token. So, what happened with Mark Cuban and Mr. Telecom himself, Mickey Watkins? So, Mark Cuban went on Altcoin Daily and kind of bashed Cardano a little bit, saying, it's not his favorite coin. He's not a believer of it. They don't have the transaction fees, and they're not generating revenues. There's no utility, and the Cardano community exploded. A lot of talk about World Mobile Token and how World Mobile Token is aiming to connect the unconnected with internet service, providing a real world utility using the Cardano blockchain. So basically, that was the prefix before this tweet, which is ARPU, which is average revenue per unit. Not user, but unit, is approximately $3 per month. We are currently fine-tuning our sharing economy and have 150 nodes up in East Africa. This is 3 times what Helium is making monthly with their 500,000 nodes. Financial services are inbound, which can easily double the ARPU. Let's talk. So a great comparison to Helium there. They get thrown in the same bowl. But two total apples and oranges with Helium. 3 times what Helium is doing with 500,000 nodes. So Mark Cuban replied, which tells me nothing. Doing $6 with 2 customers gives you the same. All 4 success stories. No one starts at the top, but come on. Mr. Telecom, Mickey Watkins says, we have thousands of customers on a minimal amount of nodes. How did you come to the conclusion we had 2? I'll also add that 3.5 billion people are unconnected on this planet because traditional telcos cannot reach them. Our dynamic network sharing economy can boldly go where no other telco has gone before. This is the real people-powered network, and we are unstoppable. So interesting. That's how it kind of kicked off, and then this is the main thread. So he tweets out this in reply to his only doing $6 with 2 customers. He tweets out this map that is of Zanzibar only, and you can see the concentration of air nodes in one test beta program, which is exactly what they're trying to do. Just like Cardano, they're going to take their time, they're going to do it right, they're going to get proof of concept in their beta programs, and then they're going to take that proof of concept and roll it out to many, many other areas, including Zanzibar and Kenya. He goes on to say, we build other projects while others promote. We share a shot of WMT scan, which I talked about last video, was excited about with real-time data. We finished auctioning network Earth nodes. All 1,000 were acquired. Next is remote air node ownership, which is big. Remote air node ownership. So you can be an Earth node owner or an Earth node operator and have a certain share of those rewards. So with the connectivity that an air node provides, and thanks to DeFi, you can hopefully there'll become a day where I can fund an air node in Zanzibar, and myself and the air node operator will share in the revenues. So that's huge. We are launching our own dynamic network using aerostats at 12 times lower cost than traditional telcos. Loving it. For a further look at World Mobile Token Scan early next week, or my inbox is always open. That's a nice little tease there that next week we're going to get some info on World Mobile Token Scan. Much like Helium, having nodes on the network is great, but doesn't tell me about user-generated traffic or how users are using or the revenue being generated. Congrats on the auction. Do you need to resell agreements with ISPs, or do you plan on using mesh into users? Curious. So then it gets a little technical. I'm still going to read it, but because there are a couple hints in there, even though I don't understand all of this, but no resale agreements required when you are a full MNO, which is mobile network operator, and ISP. Users pay for internet, granted a DID, which allows them to access TradeFi and DeFi and other VAS. Our dynamic network by default meshes all elements together from the sky to the ground. Mark Cuban responds, whose mesh protocols and software are you using? What percent of traffic can be exclusively meshed? What throughput are you expecting here? Curious to see how gateways standardize throughput into the net and what speeds you can offer customers at what price. So really throwing the ball back into Mickey's court and saying, what about these questions? And what does Mickey do? Kills it. You are mostly talking about Wi-Fi here. Wi-Fi, generally speaking, is short range, high bandwidth. Cellular is long range and low bandwidth. Our dynamic network supports both. We are using IAB released 16.3 GPP on the cellular side, and for Wi-Fi, we utilized 802.11s. We also support a variety of proprietary vendor mesh protocols. You've heard me talk about patents and proprietary technology that this company holds, and this foundation holds, and that's just another hint to it. Third part, regarding throughput, the African continent, the backhaul is almost always pinned to fiber, but we are working with low Earth orbit satellite providers like Starlink to integrate satellite backhaul primarily plugged into our aerostats. So that is great news, because a lot of people are like, it's one or the other. Starlink is going to make World Mobile irrelevant, or World Mobile is going to beat Starlink to the punch. When in combination, all of this infrastructure can be used in combination with each other. And that's what's happening here. So that's great part of this tweet there. He continues to go on. This will allow Starlink connection to be propagated to thousands of users direct to their handset via our network. LTE is a minimum of 72 Mbps per sector, and Wi-Fi ground stations will support the 802.11ax, which is capable of providing 9.6 Gbps per second. We also cache to avoid international transit where possible. Speeds for end users will allow them to have Zoom, Teams, Meets, calls, and watch SD videos with ease. We are not looking to provide the world's fastest internet. We are looking to provide a huge range coverage for the unconnected of half the planet. 3 billion left offline. So one thing I want to say, just as a quick interrupt, on that mission right there. We're looking to connect the unconnected. 3 billion left online. Where they're starting in Africa, there are 800 million people unconnected. Verizon, the largest telecom company in the world, has about 150, 160 million customers using their data services, their telecom services. So if they are 20% successful, they'll be the largest telecom company in the world. So just keep that in mind. Verizon has 150 million, 160 million customers. There's 800 million unconnected people in Africa. Starlink can help. We can work with Starlink and still get a piece of that pie that is just tremendous. He continues, even though our network is 12 times cheaper to build than legacy mobile networks, we are limited to a range of pricing by the local regulatory local regulator in any country we launch. However, being both an MNO, mobile network operator, and ISP, we can offset a lot of the cost for the end users. We aim to be half the price of legacy mobile networks in each country we launch. Now, Mark Cuban says, okay, we're making progress. Thank you. Those were some answers. And he acknowledged that half the price is a great goal, but not necessarily low enough to reach your goal, nor a no-brainer purchase, which makes an interesting study in network cost, marketing, and whether tokens, blockchains add or hurt the proposition to customers. So Mickey then responds, customers by default use blockchain without having to learn how to use it. No need to hold World Mobile Token to access the network, but if they do, they can access greater benefits and discounts. Tokenomics reward the sharing economy, and World Mobile Token is the fuel for the World Mobile Network. So you can purchase telecom services through World Mobile Token in your local currency. Mark says that's not the issue. As you know, blockchains evolve, features added or modified, which may or may not help your biz. There is additional cost, not just gas fees, but of integration, possibly running nodes for support, dealing with the plus and minus of transparency. And the red flag is how you always make the pitch for this token of the mass adoption stuff, always. And the next red flag is that I have not seen actual trial users post about their experiences that was supposed to go live last month. Oh, a lot to unpack there, Mr. Cuban. So a lot of the red flags, I think one of the smartest things World Mobile Token did was choose Cardano to partner with. The low and slow method of being decentralized and having the roadmap to scale is going to be a key success. I think if he had opened this on the Ethereum blockchain, it would be a race to kind of see what is going to happen with their hard fork, and that would be a lot of uncertainty in which Mark is hinting to. I think it's actually safer that it's on the Cardano network. Mickey goes on to say, no red flags. You clearly haven't checked out our YouTube before writing this. Approximately 30 million are unconnected in Tanzania, 20 million in Kenya alone. So there's 50 million. So that'd be a third of Verizon. Aerostats are capable of connecting them all. 10% would make us the biggest blockchain project in the world. No bots, real users. So that's some stats. That's just facts right there. There are 30 million unconnected in Tanzania, 20 million in Kenya alone. I'm comparing World Mobile Token to other telecoms. When you look at it compared to other blockchain projects, an even lower success rate would make them the biggest blockchain project in the world. Mark Cuban said, I actually did check it and noticed about 9 minutes ago you put up a few user testimonials that you produced. That's smart. You're welcome. So he's kind of like taking credit, even though there's been a whole series of how World Mobile Token is a affecting communities in the blue economy. He goes on to say, and I'm not questioning your goals, and it's smart to get users to subsidize your air nodes, and I get that you keep World Mobile Token propped up on the econ for stakeholders are better, but like AT&T, it comes down to your revenues. And he's going to lay down some more facts. He always comes back with facts. Mickey says, ARPU per month, less than $3. These are not stats created by World Mobile, but are statistics from all the mobile network operators in the country. Our stack built for both connectivity and currency. Mobile money is ripe for disruption as existing solutions are expensive, closed to third-party development, and have little incentives to innovate since competitors face a last-mile distribution problem that cannot reach users. Currency, connectivity, network effect, and open platforms make an attractive foundation on which other innovators can build a range of applications. What makes you think that our revenue will be less than the national average when we have cheaper internet, currency, and value-added services built into the core? Kind of defending Cardano there. Because you are dependent, and then Mark Cuban says, because you are dependent on individual users maintaining nodes. That's always a challenge with mesh networks. It saves you cash, but telco customer support is hard and time-consuming. Token valuation will impact commitment from node owners and user satisfaction in turn revs. So I don't think you can do customer service. The people that are operating the air nodes, the owners and the operators, are both have incentives because it's the sharing economy to solve those problems, whether it's customer support or node operation. Mickey says air node owners and air node operators are paid in fiat currency, not tokens. So the air node operators will be paid in their local currency. They do not have to liquidate their tokens to get back money they paid for an air node. Air node operators are also paid in fiat to ensure they are incentivized to do their job. And then Mark says air node and earth node, like he doesn't know the difference. So now we're getting into more education. You know, Mark has a tendency to kind of talk a big game, but when he says air nodes and earth nodes, like Mickey comes back and says there will only be 1,000 earth node operators for the foreseeable future, and they're rewarded in World Mobile Token. Mark says, do you pay air node operators in fiat and flat fiat fee, or do they only get a percentage of revenues, and are they responsible for selling the services in their area? And I'm guessing they require credit cards, or is there another manner of payment available? And do you back office? This is the last thread. We're almost done with this. Air node operators get paid in fiat and receive the greater share of the revenues for providing the finance to fund the purchase of the air node, and get paid approximately 50% of the total revenue through their air node. So that's an important fact that he's thrown out there. They get 50% of the revenue that flows through their air node. Air node operators host the equipment, ensure the security, and get paid approximately 35% of the total revenue. So owners get paid around 50% for financing. Operators get paid around 35%. World Mobile and the World Mobile Community Fund earn approximately 15% for its facilitation and use of IP. We are initially responsible for the placement of nodes in stage 3 of the sharing economy to ensure that all nodes have enough footfall to earn a positive ROI in as short a time as possible, 1 to 2 years. In stage 4 of the sharing economy, we release Tender for Telecoms, which matches owners and operators and allows for explosive growth of the network with less dependency on World Mobile. So that is basically what he's saying is a DeFi application is going to come in where you can finance an air node and provide internet service in Zanzibar and earn a return on that investment. Credit cards not needed for operators unless they are the owner too and have bought the air nodes. They can pay by bank wire too. However, it should be noted that as we connect rural areas, Visa MasterCard will be able to access new subscribers, which they cannot do now as half the world is left online. I'm about to head to sleep, but have enjoyed your questions. And then he ends up happy to do an AMA or talk privately with you whenever you would like. Thanks and good night. So Mickey Watkins just throwing out stats, and Mark Cuban, in my opinion, has nothing but opinions and questions. So, which isn't a bad thing. This was actually a very positive conversation. And again, when someone who has the type of press of Mark Cuban gets into World Mobile Token, that is great press for World Mobile Token. So overall, a very good thing to let the people know what is going on, that this internet solution exists. So one thing they didn't talk a lot about was Earth nodes, and in the sharing economy, I'm going to do a whole other video about this. But the Earth nodes will give rewards for processing transactions on the network. We're going to run a full Earth node. There's a light node and a full node. We're going to run a full node. So if you stake your World Mobile tokens with us once the mainnet goes live, you'll get the maximum rewards possible. That's the best way to support the channel. The other way you can support the channel, hit that like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for future videos. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video, and we'll catch you next time.